Hey guys, so in today's video, I am going to show you the different Tamagotchi models in the Connexion series. The first Tamagotchi Connexion is the V1, which is also called the version 1. The Connexion V1 is the very first Tamagotchi to have infrared, so you can connect your Tamagotchi with your friend to visit your friend via infrared. Okay, so this is just a sample gameplay of the V1. As you can see, it's still a baby. If I select the first icon, it's basically like the stats, the happiness and the hunger. Alright, and then as usual, this is like the food and the snack. For example, I'm feeding it some milk. And then this is the toilet. The next icon is the games. And like I mentioned, this is the very first version of Tamagotchi to be able to connect with another Tamagotchi. So it's done via the infrared on top here, right? So you can point this infrared at another Tamagotchi to connect, and you can select the connect icon on the top right. This one that's shaped like a heart. So if you select this one, you'll be able to connect. But now I'm a baby, so I can't. The second version, which is the V2, which is this one that I have in my hand right here, it's similar to the V1, but the only thing is that it's upgraded to have shop and points. So points is like the in-game currency for Tamagotchi. So we call it Gochi points. And you have a shop, so you can actually play games to earn money, and then you can use the money to go to the shop to purchase food and items and toys for your Tamagotchi. And here we are with the V2. It is physically similar to the V1 in terms of like the shape, and it also has infrared on top. The functions are also pretty similar. For example, the first icon is the statistics, and then the second icon is food. The only difference is that this time you get to go to the shop. Right, so the shop is actually the new addition that the V1 did not have. So you can actually go to the shop and buy stuff for your Tamagotchi like food or toys. And of course, there's also the connect icon, so you'll be able to connect with other Tamagotchis as well. Next, we have the V3. And the Japanese equivalent is the Keitai. V3 physically looks different from the V1 and V2 because it has a little short antenna, and it has an additional function, which is that it now can connect to your mobile phone. There's also this virtual world called Tama Town. So it's a very old website. It's no longer up now. You could go to the website, and then there'll be like a code that you can check from your device, and you enter the code into the website, and your Tamagotchi will actually kind of teleport into the Tama Town on the website. And then you can interact in Tama Town, you can play games and whatever. And then when it's time to quit, you can enter the code back into your device, and the Tamagotchi comes back into your device along with whatever prizes, items, and money you have earned from Tama Town. And gameplay coming up. So this is the V3. As you can see, the V3 is physically a little bit different because it has an antenna here, like a little short antenna. Similar to the V2, it has the shop function as well. Okay, so you get to go to the shop and buy stuff. And there's also a password that you can enter to get like special or secret items. This is the English version of the V3. You can connect with other V3 or others, meaning like the V2 or the V1. The Japanese version of V3, which is called the Keitai, can also actually connect to your phone, but it looks like the English version doesn't have that. Next on the list, we have a V4. The Japanese version is also known as the Entama. So you can see that V4, again, it is physically different from V3 because the antenna is now longer and it has a little cute ball on top. Similar to V3, V4 can also connect to the Tama Town website. The additional feature that V4 has, your Tamagotchi can look for jobs and have a career as an adult. While your Tamagotchi is still in teenager stage, you can let it go to school, earn some knowledge points, and then with those points, when it grows into an adult, you can let it attend job
interviews, and then if it passes the interview, it gets a job. When you go to work, it's also a mini game. So if you do well at your job, you earn money as well. And of course, the money can be used to buy food, accessories, toys, etc. And as usual, gameplay coming up.
Now here we have the V4. Okay, so as you can see, the V4 has a longer antenna compared to the V3, and the Japanese version of the V4 is called Entama. So I also have like an antenna topper here that is sold separately, so it's kind of cute that you can also decorate your Tamagotchi with a topper. The additional feature on the V4 is that now the Tamagotchi can actually go to school and earn some points, and then using the points you can go for job interviews to get a job. So these are the games, and this is like the connection. And the other interesting thing is that now it has this little like notification icon where you can occasionally receive like news and other events. And how do you see the points that you earn from going to school? You go to the first icon, which you can look at your stats, and then the second page, this is where you can see like your icons which show like your points. Like for example, I have 231 intelligence points, so I focused on intelligence on this Tamagotchi. You also get to visit Tama Town. You could go to the connect icon, and then you select like PC, and then the first one is Tama Town, so you select it, and then there'll be a code. So you actually go to the Tama Town website and you enter this code into the website, and your Tamagotchi will be able to enter into the Tama Town, like it will appear on the website. So you can play games and whatever, and then when it's time to go home, there'll be another code generated on the website, and you enter the code here like this, and then your Tamagotchi will come back into your device with all the prizes and money that you have earned while playing on the website.
Next, we come to the V5. For the V5, there are actually two different designs of shells that you can see right here. The English one has an antenna shaped like a roof, while the Japanese version has the antenna shaped like a house padlock. The Japanese equivalent of the V5 is called Familitchi. As the name implies, the unique feature of it is that you get to raise a family. Instead of raising just one Tamagotchi on the device, you actually get to raise an entire family, up to 2 or 3 Tamagotchis on the same device. Some short gameplay coming up next.
So for the V5, like I mentioned, you are actually raising a family. So as you can see, instead of having just one Tamagotchi on the screen, you can raise 3 Tamagotchis at the same time, and they're all siblings. So this is the most interesting feature of the V5. And if you go to the stats, there's this thing called like the percentage of bonding value. So that's like how close your Tamagotchi are as a family. So you can see here it's 0, so my family actually isn't doing well, but you can actually raise the bonding points of your family. And of course, as usual, you have this connecting icon as well, where you can also connect to PC, or you can connect to other Tamagotchis via infrared. The other interesting thing to note is the TV function. So if you select the TV, there are a few things you can do. For example, the first one, it says TV shopping. So if you go here, you can actually do like some television shopping. So these are just a few things you can buy off the TV. And then the second option is matchmaking. So if you select it, you'll go into matchmaking, but you're too young, so it doesn't allow you to. The third one is like travel. So if you go to the third one, you actually get to travel as a family. So it costs 500 Gochi points to go travel. Let's see if I have enough. No, I don't. Alright, so anyway, we can't go traveling.
The next Tamagotchi Connection version on the list is the V6. So the V6 is also known as the Music Star Tamagotchi, and as the name implies, you actually raise a Tamagotchi who becomes a musician. So when the Tamagotchi becomes an adult, you can audition to join a band. Now this is my least favorite Tamagotchi of all, because I find it so difficult to get its skills up enough to be able to join a band, and I feel like I just end up raising a failure. So This is definitely one of my least favorites. Nonetheless, gameplay coming up.
Next, we come to the V6. You are actually training your Tamagotchi to become like a musician. So if you look at like the stats, you can actually look at player stats and also the band stats. Okay, so let's say I go into the band stats. Okay, I'm not in a band yet, so if I select band, I can't see anything. But let's go into player stats. So these are just some of the stats. So we also have a new stat called the stress. How the stress stat works is that you will actually need to make your Tamagotchi practice musical instruments to improve their skills, but you can't do it too much because they're gonna get stressed out. So you have to strike a fine balance, which is why I kind of dislike this version because it's really hard to strike a balance. So the difference of the V6 is that you can see there's a musical icon. So this is where you can play games or select your instruments to put on your screen here. So say I select a guitar to put on my screen, so now I have a guitar on my screen. And I can change the toy on my screen as well. So if I select toy, whoops, then I can select what is the toy I want to display on my screen. And of course the door icon is for me to be able to go out. For example, if I select PC, I can, again similar to the previous models, you input this code into the website and then your Tamagotchi goes to the website. Okay, the other icon on the bottom left is another new icon as well. This one, it allows you to practice. So this is where you can make your Tamagotchi practice music to increase its musical skills.
The last one on the list is the Tama-Go. It's unofficially known as the V7. Now the uniqueness of the Tama-Go is that even though it's a little bigger and it's thicker as well, the best part about the Tama-Go is that you can buy additional figurines that come with additional content. For example, this is the Familitchi figurine. So what you do is that you take off the cap here and then you fit the figurine on, and then there'll be additional content on your Tamagotchi. So it's like you get to play new games, and also there's a shop that you can go to purchase additional items. These are just some of the figurines that I have collected. Like, I can't hold all of them in my hand, but yeah. I mean, I have more, but just to show you like a few different ones. And of course, gameplay coming up.
So you can see that one of its unique features, immediately you can see it's actually really bulky compared to the previous other Connexion models. And the fun part is that you can swap out the faceplate to any other design that you want. So this is the first Tamagotchi model actually that allows you to swap out faceplates. You can see that there are two Tamagotchis on my screen. Actually, you can only raise one at a time, but the interesting part about this is that once your Tamagotchi gets married, it will stay with its partner for a while before having a baby. You have all these little figurines that you can swap out for extra content. You can see there's like a cover here, you remove it, okay, and then you can slot in any figurine that you have. Okay, so you select the figurine icon on the top right, and then you get to play a new game or go to a new shop. Okay, so let's say I go to the shop. You can see that we'll go to the shop owned by Familitchi because this is her figurine up here. Okay, and you see even the shop looks like her. And then you get to buy stuff from her. Okay, so these are like the additional content, and every single figurine has a different content. Like you get a different shop, you get a different game, whatever. So let's say the game, it'll be like a special game from this figurine as well. Okay, so you can select like which game you want to play. Alright, and so this is a really fun device because when this first came out, I was really incentivized to collect all the figurines possible so I could like unlock more games and shops and to buy new items.
So that was the full range of Tamagotchi connections. I hope this was informative. Let me know which is your favorite in the comments. Thank you and see you next time.